The four kingdoms fell, and thrones turned to dust. One king rose not to rule, but to remind the world what honor truly meant. In a time shrouded by mist and myth, in a land where stone groaned with the weight of magic and silence hummed with prophecy, a child was born, not into royalty, but into obscurity. He was not crowned in gold, but fate had already marked his brow. His name would be remembered long after thrones crumbled and banners faded. Britain bled from within, its kings consumed by pride. Deep beneath the soil, Merlin walked with the earth's whispering voice in his ears. A sword in a stone, a test only the true heir could pass. Arthur did not grow in palaces. He was raised by Sir Ector, unknown to his own birthright, fostered in simplicity, taught loyalty before power. And on a day of tournaments and squabbles, when knights jostled for honor and steel rang like thunder, the sword stood untouched, embedded in stone like fate in the bones of men. Until the boy, searching not for glory, but for a blade to aid his brother, laid hand upon the hilt. With no fanfare, no divine chorus, the sword slid free. Excalibur sang a silent song. Those who watched were stunned. The world had changed in a heartbeat, and so began the rise of Arthur. He did not rise through conquest, but through unification. He did not demand loyalty, he earned it. Knights came not only for battle, but for purpose. Lancelot of the Lake, Galahad the pure Gawain, the loyal Leech Knight carried their own legend, but all bowed to Arthur's vision. It declared that no man sat above another. Like the turning of seasons and the echo of eternity, Camelot emerged not as a fortress, but as a dream. It was the promise of what mankind could be: noble, brave, just, and within its halls, Arthur ruled with wisdom, whispered by Merlin and tempered by his own doubts. Came from across the CAA, champion of valor, sworn. It ended in treason. Neither sought to harm Arthur. She bore her crown with quiet strength. But even queens are human. She loved Arthur, yes, but with Lancelot, she was seen not as a queen, but as a woman. And in that recognition, a piece of her soul found freedom. That freedom became a wound. Merlin, meanwhile, watched it all from the edge of vision. He had guided Arthur, taught him not only to wield Excalibur, but to wield wisdom. Yet Merlin himself was not untouched by fate. He loved Tua, woman named Nemu, who would betray him, not for hatred, but for understanding. She sought to trap the enchanter, to still the voice of prophecy, and Merlin, weary of time, let her. His departure marked the beginning of a silence that would grow louder with every whisper of doubt in Arthur's court. The seeds of Camelot's fall were sown not in battle, but in hearts. In Lancelot's trembling hands, the way Guinevere looked past him, the way Lancelot lingered when he should. But Arthur, ever the king, said nothing. Through a union shadowed by magic and manipulation, Mordred was both heir and harbinger. Raised in bitterness, his soul was a battlefield. He knew not love, only ambition. He saw Camelot not as a beacon, but as a lie. He grew in the shadows of his father's legacy, twisted by resentment. The sword in stone meant nothing to him. He would forge a future, not through prophecy, but through fire. When the betrayal surfaced Lancelot's flight, Guinevere's arrest, the rift between heart and throne Mordred moved. He seized the chaos, split the court, turned knights against king, and so the dream cracked. Not from an enemy without, but from a wound within. Arthur rode to war, not with triumph, but with sorrow. The fields of Camelot ran red with history's final ink. Father faced son, king faced consequence. Both fell, but Arthur did not die. The legends say he was taken to Avalon, where the air is thick with healing and time flows like memory. There, the once and future king sleeps, sword by his side, awaiting a world that remembers how to dream. And what remains? A round table, a broken crown, a love story etched in fire, a kingdom that dared to imagine something greater. Arthur's tale is not a tale of victory, is a tale of striving, of falling, of getting back up, of choosing right even when the heart bleeds. He was not flawless, he was not perfect, but that is why he endures, because the world does not need perfect kings. It needs kings who believe, who try, who suffer, and who rise. Arthur is every man who chooses duty over desire. He is every woman who holds power with grace. He is every child who pulls a sword from stone and believes the impossible. The sword sleeps, the isle waits. Where dreams are laughed at, where power corrupts, the story of Arthur is reborn, not because it ended, but because it never truly left. That is the essence of myth, not a relic of the past, but a mirror held up to the eternal struggles of the soul. This was Arthur, and he is not done.